Hey guys. So so I book anywhere from 5 to 10 sales calls per week for both my clients and myself, and I get anywhere from 10 to 20 um, leads per week, and I book anywhere from 5 to 10 sales calls per week. And this is just, through all of the cold outbound campaigns that I run. And and in this video, I'm going to show you how to tackle getting so many leads and booking so many calls at a volume that makes sure that you never miss a good lead. When you're reaching out to cold traffic, when you are reaching out to cold traffic, you have put in a lot of work, right? You have constructed a cold traffic offer, that is much different from any kind of inbound or warm traffic offer that you had previously. If you were doing any kind of referrals or word of mouth or YouTube content or Instagram content or LinkedIn content, you might be getting inbound leads that like I do from these YouTube videos. That's why I make them. Um, I get business owners asking me about my services from these videos, and you might be getting these too. When you make content, you get inbound leads, but those are extremely different. Those are on the opposite end of the spectrum than cold traffic leads. Cold traffic is essentially you reaching out to prospects, and cold outbound AI lead generation, whatever you want to call it, essentially needs you to make a cold traffic offer and then construct this entire infrastructure around it so that you can actually reach out to 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 leads per day. And then you want to reply handle properly, and then you want to book them in, and then you want to nurture these leads as well. So there's a lot of processes involved in actually making sure that you can get clients from cold traffic, and get your clients from cold traffic, right? So essentially, if you're doing a volume like this or even more, I'm sure that some people watching this are doing more volume and some are doing less volume. But there are a few best practices that I have understood in my months, in the many months that I'm running my AI lead gen agency. Force of habit of doing underscores instead of uh, yeah, dash it. So yeah, AI Legion agency, and I'm gonna walk you through all of these steps and best practices. The first one that you could have already guessed is, reply handling. Um, these are made up of at least, 2 to 3 steps. So I'll just make a subheading and say that, okay, whenever you get a positive response, and the positive response can be, one of, I think, three things. One could be a complete meeting request. You reach out to a prospect and they immediately want to jump on a call and understand exactly what your offer is and so on. That's your best kind of lead. You want to immediately book them in and make sure that they receive the email invite, calendar invite, and so on and so forth. Sometimes they do not receive it, and these prospects are actually very helpful in just telling you, emailing you back that, okay, they did not receive this calendar invite and they want to, uh, you know they want it again, and you'll just make sure to cater to these people as soon as possible. The other category of people that you'll get is interested leads. So interested leads, essentially, they want to know how it works. They want to understand the timeline, the processes, so on. They are essentially testing you, kind of. These people actually are a little bit of a test to understand whether um, you can explain it in a brief manner. So 1 to 2 sentences, and then you'll be essentially giving them a CTA as to, can I show you this in a quick 10-minute call? Obviously, it doesn't have to be a 10-minute call, but you can use any kind of um, time that you need here. I've recently seen that 10-minute call or 15-minute call sounds like a way better a deal to this prospect. And this is a cold prospects. Cold prospects actually need an reassurance that their time is going to be valuable if they do agree to this. So you can just give them a brief explanation of how it works, and then just ask them on a call. Essentially, these are the same people who will also ask you for pricing in the email. So obviously, you don't want to reveal any kind of pricing in the email. So what you want to do is essentially, give them a ballpark. If they're very insistent, you obviously don't want to just ignore their question, right? So you can give them, this can be a 2.5. You can just give them a ballpark estimate. You can say, it costs anywhere from $500 to, I don't know, $10,000, depending on your exact business and your goals and so on. So we'll have to actually have a chat, and it could be a very small chat, and we'll know immediately if we are going to be a fit for getting you leads or getting you booked calls or not. So essentially, interested leads, these are the second kind of prospects, and the third kind is essentially info request leads. The interested leads and the info request leads are kind of, similar, but info requests are a little bit more skeptical than interested leads, right? Info requests are the people who don't know how it will work, and they've never seen anything like it, and they've never received a cold email like it, or they've never actually read a cold email like that, which means that you've already crossed one, hurdle. You've already made them read the email, and you've already made them reply to your email. So the next thing is essentially convincing them to get on a call, right? So you've already done, I'll say, 2 out of 3 hard steps. The first step was essentially making them read the email. The third step was essentially making them reply to the email, right? The third step was essentially getting them interested. So to book a call. Um, yeah. So essentially, you've already completed 2 out of 3 steps by making an interested lead or an info request lead. Next, you want to do is just essentially give them, once again, just a brief overview of exactly what it entails. If you were to work together, and you can assume stuff, instead of saying that, if we were to work together, week 1 would look like this and week 2 will look like this, and so on. Instead of saying that, you could just say that, okay, let's say let's say you signed the contract today, you signed the agreement today, not the contract. Some words are better understood in cold email and better reciprocated in cold email than other words. For example, agreement is better than contract, and so on. It just sounds better for some reason. People are more receptive when you use these words. So, you explain them in a brief manner, you give them a good CTA, and, it sounds extremely low pressure. It sounds as if you just want to explain it to them, and this is where you actually convince them to actually book a call. So these are the 3 kinds of positive responses that you'll be getting. So the first thing is essentially getting to these responses, emailing them back within, let's say, less than 5 minutes for sure. If you can manage less than 1 minute, this is ideal, right? This can be easily achieved through 2 different formats. One is, manual um, appointment setting. Appointment setting. This can be you or your setter that actually manages your inbox on a day-to-day basis and make sure that no reply goes unanswered beyond 5 minutes. This is an extremely manual, it can be an extremely tiring job to just be alert for, I don't know, like 7 a.m. To, I don't know, 8 p.m. Eastern. If you're running in the USA, or if you're running somewhere else, you can just use according to that. But obviously, you'll need to make sure that you have these people, or just you yourself, handling these replies within 5 minutes. And the second thing is essentially making sure that you have a template to reply. If you are manually constructing your replies every time a new reply comes in, then you're essentially wasting your time and just wasting mental energy. Like, you're wasting a lot of energy just constructing replies from scratch all the time. And you need not do that. You can actually have templates. So remember how I said that all positive replies belong to these 3 categories, right? Meeting requests, interested leads, or info requests. So what you can do is essentially have a template. If you're doing it manually, I'm not talking about the automated process yet. I'm talking about manual process. So manual process is essentially you having templates for each of these 3 categories of positive responses, right? And once you have these templates in place, you'll see that all all leads fall into these three buckets. So you can easily have, like, I don't know, three templates to handle all kinds of leads. And you can just copy paste the name and the offer itself and the company name if you are mentioning it in the follow up. I wouldn't recommend it because you want to send it like immediately. So just have these templates and reply immediately. That's it. Right? And the better thing to do is here is like make it automated appointment setting. So what you do is essentially have some kind of AI bot that does it for you. And this is really good if you have a CTA in your email that is like, can I share more info on this? If you have a CTA like this in which you want to share some info, and the info that you share across all leads, all positive responses will be essentially the same, right? It will be essentially a small brief summary of your processes, and you'll be explaining that stuff and just making sure to uh, probably mention their company name so that they feel as if it's personalized for them, right? But essentially, you'll be saying the same thing over and over and over and over for every interested lead, right? So once you do this, once you have an AI bot doing it for you, you can just have a webhook. So essentially, what I do here is if I go to my SmartLead settings, there is a API key. So I have this, you'll see this, I have this Claude Business Management API key. This is what I use to have a webhook that forwards all my positive replies so that my AI bot can essentially schedule a new reply or, follow up within like 60 seconds. And that's easily done if you know what you're doing. Like if you have any kind of experience with Claude Code, you can just set up that webhook and make sure that it replies in that specific template. If you have a template for all three of these positive replies, you can just set that up and make sure that all of this goes within 60 seconds and you don't have to manually do it. You can even automate the process of like uh, call scheduling. So if a reply actually comes as if I want to meet at 3 p.m. tomorrow, something like that, you can just connect it your if you have a cal.com, Calendly or cal.com. I think it works for both. If you have a GHL account, that also works. GHL also has this lead connector API that you can use. So this bot will essentially just read that, okay, this person wants to meet tomorrow at 3 p.m. and they'll just go into your calendar and book them in, just literally. So you can have both manual and automated appointment setting. Right now, I'm running for myself a hybrid model. So what does a hybrid model look like? Essentially, I have automated templated reply management, reply handling. So essentially, I have these templates set up, and my AI bot actually goes in and replies within 60 seconds. That's done, both for myself and the clients that I want to immediately, do this for them. And I also have a manual check of appointment setting. So whenever a prospect replies that, okay, they don't want any more information, they just want to get a call now, like just jump on a call now. So I just have this manual check that I do, like I do one check like every half an hour or something, and my appointment setter, my actual teammate, my partner, they actually go into the reply, they just book them in the calendar, and that's it. They just follow up, and our onboarding, our nurture email workflows just follow there, like follow up from there after the booking. And that's how the hybrid model works. It's extremely easy. You can either do this completely automated, or you can do a hybrid, or you can do it completely manually. It's up to you, and it's up to whether you have the bandwidth to actually do this manually or not. But yeah, this is essentially the reply handling that I do. I also have implemented a warm calling procedure. I usually, you have these smart lead. For example, if I quickly show you my master inbox, for example, this person is like, I'm good on services right now. Please remove me from your list. You see, people are quite um, polite if you actually know what you're doing, and you draft an email that actually people feel compelled to reply, even if they are not actually interested in the service, you know. So yeah, this is pretty nice. So as for warm calling, you can just call a person here. Uh, you see that I already have my client's number here. I've already enriched it. So you can just call it here. It's like SmartLead, it's like extremely cheap. It's like I think $9 per month for $9 of credits, and just you can use one number and call up. Like I have not faced, I've not run out of credits yet in SmartLead. By the way, you get these credits for free if you sign up from the link in my description. That's like uh, that's something that I've partnered with SmartLead to do this for you. So yeah, this is reply handling. The second step, the second best practice is actually follow up sequences. So follow up sequences as well as follow up processes and sequences, right? So you can, for example, some people actually will tell you that reach back out to me next week. Some people are actually like this. They actually just want you to reach back out because this week they're extremely busy, and maybe next week they'll entertain you and your offer more. So what you do is just enroll them in a subsequence, into a subsequence. So this is extremely easy to do once again within SmartLead. If I just close this, you'll see that you have this push to subsequence button. So essentially you have this subsequence, and subsequence can be like 1 to 2 or 1 to 5 emails that is separate from your primary sequence. And these people will essentially be nurtured. So you do some lead nurture through these emails, and then make sure that you don't lose these leads, right? That's one thing. The other thing is essentially following up in defined cadence. What you want to do here is essentially make sure that you won't be booking meetings immediately in most cases. 90% of leads that are interested won't book a meeting in 1 2 3 tries, or 1 2 3 back and forth emails, right? So you want essentially to be, what you want to be doing is, yes, you want to be calling them, like I said, warm call them. It's extremely cheap, you can do this. The other thing that you can do is follow up until they say no, or like, I don't know, a 14-day period. So you follow up for 14 days straight, right? And you can include other channels as well. You don't just need to do email. You can just call them up. You can do some kinds of SMSs. You can do LinkedIn connection request, and so on, right? So you can follow up in multi-channel. Like you can have a multi-channel approach for follow-ups. So, and you can define this 14-day period as well. Uh, I've had leads for whom I've like I've gotten their reply in like April, and I've booked them in like March. So it's like 30-day period. So it doesn't have to be like a hard and fast rule for you to just do it for 14 days and then just remove them from the CRM. And CRM is essentially the third step that I wanted to talk to you about. So the third thing is essentially have a good CRM. For me, I really like close.com. Oops, close.com. This is like the best CRM that you can use for. So I have three recommendations. I have Close, I have Attio, and I have GoHighLevel. I have links for all three of these, and 30-day, 7-day, or 14-day free trials for all of these in the link in my description. You can join from there. But having a CRM is essentially because what you'll be doing is tagging every positive response, and enrolling them into a follow-up subsequence or process. So you don't want to lose your leads. So essentially what you want to do is either enroll them into a subsequence, or just start following up on a defined, like a well-defined cadence, right? And you follow up until like, I don't know, 14 days, 30 days, whatever works in your industry, right? different verticals have different amount of work that you need to do to get these people on a call, right? um, so that's the third thing. Have a CRM. In my case, I have this, I actually built my own CRM. So what I did was essentially, let me just local host 3000. I have this studio. This is my leads database essentially. You'll see that I have 453,647 companies and people respectively. I have like 22 people in the pipeline. You'll see that I have this complete company database and I have this people database, and obviously I can't show you the pipeline and clients because that's like completely business proprietary. But yeah, I have built my own CRM kind of thing, but I do also have GHL. So essentially, I have this GHL for warm calling people. In addition to SmartLead, because my appointment setters actually like that, way better, and it's easier to track as well. Like, and DHL has this email nurture automations as well that you can do. So I can make a separate video on how to make email nurture if you want. Just comment below and I'll happily make a video around it. But yeah, essentially have a CRM. Make sure that you tag every positive response with appropriate thing that you got in your email. So don't tag info request response as positive response or meeting request. So that will just give you noisy data at the end of the week or end of the month when you're actually doing this survey of what campaigns are working, what offers are working, what messages are working, and so on, right? So that's the third thing. And the fourth and the final thing is what was the fourth thing? Um, I did talk about everything. And yeah, I think those were the three things that I wanted to talk about. Let me just check out four best practices for never missing a lead, reply handling, follow up sequences, CRM. And yeah, I think that's it. It's just three best steps. Yeah, yeah, those are the three steps that I wanted to talk about. I think I've made sure to include all of the data that I wanted to show you here. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. And if you want us, my agency, to come into your business and give you anywhere from 10 to 20 to 50 leads a month, or anywhere from 5 to 10 qualified sales calls per week, then just book a call from the first link in the description and I can go over the strategy with you. Thank you. Have a lovely day ahead, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.